Bill and Hillary Clinton both missed their dispositions with the House Oversight Committee, and James Conner plans to hold them in contempt of Congress for defying their subpoenas. Will the Clintons face the same fate as Steve Bannon did? We'll investigate their letter to James Conner on why they missed their subpoenas, so stick around.
Freedom Talk, we're coming on the air. Coffee's hot, flags flying everywhere. Bible on the dash, truth in our walk. Turn it up loud, this is Freedom Talk.
Yes, the Clintons, they missed their dates. Bill Clinton missed his yesterday, and Hillary missed hers today. And they're both facing contempt of Congress, just like Steve Bannon did back in 22. That was the J6 hearings, and he missed it. And he served about 4 months in jail for that. So we'll see what happens to the Clintons over here. Here's James Comer right now.
We're going to hold both Clintons in criminal contempt of Congress. We believe that because this subpoena was issued in a bipartisan fashion, the Democrats acted the day that the subpoenas were voted on in the subcommittee like they wanted the Clintons to come, because they at that time, if you go back, they were wanting me to subpoena the estate, which I did. We subpoenaed the estate and got all the documents, everything. That was what the victims asked. That's what the Democrats asked. I think that's what the American people wanted. We subpoenaed the estate, got 100% of the documents. I have subpoenaed the Department of Justice and Pam Bondi for the documents, which they are producing. Now, we don't like the speed. We all wish the documents would come in quicker, but we've gotten tens of thousands of pages of documents from the Department of Justice. And remember, they made a big document drop, and the Democrats cried foul because they said they didn't.
Demanded redaction.
Right, they wanted more redaction.
Yeah, it's just a little waiting game, what they usually do. And it's like, if you will do this, if you do this, if you do this and this and this. And it's just jumping through a bunch of hoops is what he's talking about.
So they're double and triple checking this. And the Department of Justice is complying with our lawful subpoena. The estate complied with our lawful subpoena. Bill Barr, Alex Acosta came in and were deposed because of our lawful subpoena. This same lawful subpoena was issued to the Clintons, and they defied it. And Bill Clinton's trying to play the victim card here. Only Bill Clinton could try to triangulate something that's happened, a terrible atrocity to these survivors that have had to endure who knows what from.
Yeah, well, you get the idea. So that's what James Comer has to say, and it's like a waiting game for the Democrats. They're to get to this point. They said, you do this, you do that, and we did all that and investigate it. And he's here you go. Now you do your part, and of course they didn't do their part, and they're going to try to. I see it already. They're going to try to wait this thing out until the 2026 election, and try to get the Democrats back in office and make all this thing go bye-bye, like they're so good at doing. So anyways, they did send a letter over to James Comer, and forgive, it was kind of hard to read, but let's see if we can get this on the screen. And basically, in a nutshell, I read this, and in the very first paragraph over here, they're talking about all the things that the U.S. is doing and what we're doing as far as students and scientists with visas, permitted them to study here and work here, as are being deported without due process. The people laid a siege on the U.S. Capitol with Ben pardons and talking about the J6ers and made them heroes. Agencies, universities, medias, and companies and laws have been defunded. And so they're just pointing out all this stuff. And then they even went back over to how ICE agents killed a unarmed mother only days ago. But she also defied the orders of the ICE agent who told her to get out of the car, get out of the effing car. and she didn't, and she made a threatening move to the officer, and unfortunately, she lost her life with that. Um, that's a story for another time. But what they're doing here, is they're trying. They're saying we're not doing anything bad. Look at all this other stuff over here that's happening. We're good, and this is the bad. It's like a magician with a magic wand. It's an abracadabra, and don't look over here, but look over here, and that's what it is. It's all about misdirection. So the next letter that we have is a 4-page letter over here, and so they're talking about how this happened over here, to Trump and the J6, how he was called to Congress in 2022, and he did the same thing. He missed his meeting, and because as he stated, and how I believe that was all trumped up, and there was a bunch of things that was untrue about how all that portrayed. But he missed his meeting, and so did Steve Bannon. That was and so did Steve Bannon at that time too. And then Steve Bannon was sent to 4 months in prison to testify with that, and where they dropped it with Trump down the road closer to the election time. So the Clintons can face the same fate as Steve Bannon, or they can face the same fate as Donald Trump did, being forgiven with that. Time's yet to tell on that. So that was there, and then here in page 3, we're looking at. It just pretty much says we expect that USA is not enough. That you might put our empty chairs that we missed our hearing in, and on the internet, and you would show old pictures of Bill, da da da. It's just you would do all these things, and that's just that's just the facts that's coming to light, and it's like here you go, and the internet, they'll post it on the internet, and there you go. So, anyways, and that was signed with Bill and Hillary Clinton. But they need to also remember that no one is really above the law.
No one. No one is above the law.
No one is above the law, not even the son of the President of the United States.
No one is above the law.
The fact is, no one is above the law.
The idea that no person is above the law is a bedrock principle of American justice.
No man is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one else is above the law, including a president.
Nobody is above the law.
That no one, not even the president, is above the law.
And that no one is above the law.
No one is above the law, and our president is not above the law.
No man is above the law, and no person is above the law.
No one is above the law.
That, nor any other title, puts you above the rule of law.
No one is above the law.
That is what it means to have a rule of law. That is what it means to not have a king.
They're not above the law.
Nobody is above the law.